In this problem here, we are looking for the amount of tax that we're going to pay. So remember, reading that question first, it's going to help you make that determination fairly quickly, at least compared to if you were going to read everything start to finish and then, have to go through the questions and the confusion. No, it's actually a lot better if we go straight to the question. What is the amount of tax that he will pay? Boom. We are specifically looking for the amount of tax. So everybody, if we are looking for the amount of the tax, we are supposed to be applying the percent of the tax. That's the consistency that you want to go with here. So again, if we're looking for the amount of tax, we want to apply the percent tax, and that is 8% tax. Multiply that by the original price of $500, and we are good to go. Because if we apply the percentage tax, we will get the amount of tax. And that's what it's all about, everybody. So here we go. Let's do the math here. Now remember, we want to turn that percent into a decimal. And when we do that, everybody, you've got to be careful. We have 2 decimal places moved over. So this will be 0.08. If you wrote 0.8, these are not the same thing. These are not. Remember that I said you can eliminate trailing zeros, not zeros in the middle. No, that's not how that works. It's only trailing zeros at the end that you can remove. So this is still going to be 0.08. Do we understand that before I continue? I know a couple of us may have made that mistake, and I do want to make sure I always reinforce that for sure. I got you. So we have 0.08 multiplied by the 500, and that's going to equal the amount of tax. So as we multiply here with this one, we have 500 multiplied by 0.08. Okay, here we go. 0 times 8, 0 times 8, and 5 times 8, that's going to be 40. We bring back none up top, but then we have 1, 2 on the bottom. 1, 2, and there we go. The amount of the tax is $40. And there we are. All set, all good, and we can keep it moving. And that's answer choice B. And there we are. So with that said, who here is feeling confident after going through that introduction to taxes and discounts? Who's feeling pretty good about that? Because, obviously we can adjust the numbers, we can adjust the situations, we can get everything going. So I'm really excited for y'all to come into tomorrow's class, the follow-up session, that's going to allow you to look at problems that maybe not everything is discounted or not everything is taxed, and you have multiple items. In this next question, we'll begin by reading that question sentence first, and it's a short one. It says, what was the setup fee? Okay, cool. So we have a setup fee that we're trying to find, and I don't know if this setup fee is repeated or if this is a one-time thing. I don't know yet, so I got to be careful. So what's the setup fee? Let's get some information here from the context. And it says, at a different print shop, the cost is a flat setup fee plus 40 cents per page. A customer printed 80 pages and paid $47 total. What was the setup fee? Okay, so from what I'm gathering here, this is actually pretty neat because I notice that the setup fee is a one-time fee. Think about it like this. We have our setup fee, and then we will add the number of pages, so the cost for the extra pages, and that's going to give us the total cost. If we flip things around, this is going to be a y equals mx plus b problem. So if I write it like this, it might not be super obvious because we have things kind of flipped over, but let me go ahead and show you here. The total is the end result, the y. The setup fee is the beginning amount, and the cost for those pages that we print is going to be, well, mx, which is going to stand for the cost per page times the number of pages. Let's fill in the details that we have. But again, to make it easier, I will go ahead and make life a little easier for everybody. I'll go ahead and swap everything out. Total on the left, so the y. Then I'll have everything else on the right, because I know that's what you're accustomed to. And I'll just make it even easier here. Let's get this over. And then get that over there on the right. Cool. So now that we see this, what was that total amount that we paid? Well, that's right over here, $47 total. So I'll go ahead and replace y with 47. Then we have the rate times x. So the rate per page times the number of pages, that is going to end up being 40 cents per page multiplied by the 80 pages right over here. And then we're looking for that setup fee, the beginning amount. So there we are, everybody. Booyah. And what we're going to do next is we are going to solve this equation. So let me just make this a little smaller so we have a little more room. But let's get to work here. First thing we have to do is take the 40 cents multiplied by the 80 pages. So here we go. 80 multiplied by 0.40. 0 times 0, 8 times 0. That was simple enough. Next up, we are going to work on the 4. So we'll plug in the 0 here to get started on the 4. 0 times 4. And then 8 times 4 is 32. And then we have, at the end, the decimals that we're going to bring back. So we have now 1, 2 decimal places, 1, 2 decimal places. So this gives us now 47 equals $32 plus that initial setup fee. To get that initial setup fee is just one step now. It's just going to be subtract both sides by 32. Just like that. Subtract both sides by 32. Booyah, boom, we have 47 minus 32 is 15. And so our initial setup fee, there it is, $15. And there we go. That's our correct answer. Answer choice A. All right, let's go ahead and tackle this problem here, regardless of how easy it looks. Let's make proper work of it. So here we go. First things first is we're going to identify what's going on with the x, because the one thing that I'm going to repeat in any video that you might hear me solving equations in is that we are working backwards. Solving equations is all about getting this variable all by itself. So with that, everybody, to work backwards, we identify that we see that we're adding 59 onto that x. And so working backwards looks like this. If I want to get just x by itself, because that is the goal at the end, what I really need to do is get rid of this. And getting rid of it means doing the opposite operation. I see plus 59, so I'll reverse those operations to subtract 59 on both sides, just like that. And so what that's going to give me on the left side is a cancellation, so I can get the x by itself, because again, that's what I wanted. And then when we take a look at 114 minus 59, we're going to have to do a little bit of borrowing. Borrow from the 1 to make it 14, and that's going to end in a 5. And then we have 10 minus 5 right there, 10, and that ends up being 5. So there we go. We have x equals 55, and that's pretty much it. We're done. If we wanted to check our work, all we need to do is take the original equation, x plus 59 equals 114, and we would go ahead and plug in that 55 for x. So that would be 55 plus 59. And yeah, indeed, that does equal 114, and we're all good. But there it is. Correct answer here is answer choice D, just working backwards, subtracting 59 from both sides.